Old eons, a dragon has plagued the world. Its ominous shadow looms over the lands, a dreadful creature of chaos and awe, with tales of its cruelty echoing far and wide. No mortal would dare to dream of challenging the dragon in single combat, yet there is one who must. In a legendary tale doomed to repeat across the ages, the dragon chooses a worthy champion from each generation, wrenching the beating heart from their chest and forging a being known as the Arisen. This hero, marked by fate and burdened by their lost humanity, must rise from the trappings of ordinary life and answer the call to take up arms in search of the dragon who stole their heart. But the path of the Arisen is not a solitary journey, for they are granted access to the rift, the thread connecting worlds.
I see you recognize my worth, Arisen.
Where they can summon mystical beings from parallel realities, the loyal and hard-working pawns, masters of archery, wielders of potent spells and skilled in the arts of swordplay and melee. The pawns become the Arisen's companions and confidants.
I hope you slept well, Master.
As they go forth on their journey together. In pursuit of the beckoning dragon, the Arisen and their pawns set foot across two nations, as disparate in terrain as they are in their ways of life. In Vermund, a fertile land cradled by alpine peaks and rolling hills, the fortress city stands as a bastion of prosperity and security. Cascading waterfalls and serpentine rivers flow throughout the countryside, feeding into fruitful farms where a feeling of abundance permeates the fresh air. Just above the capital city, Vernworth Palace rises proudly.
You are approaching the gates of Vernworth.
Here, the Arisen is traditionally revered as the sovereign, a monarch crowned by destiny and looked upon as a champion, protecting the land from the dragon's scourge. Beyond Vermund's verdant embrace lies Batau, the nation of Beastren, a land of unforgiving deserts. Its shifting sands and jagged canyons require creative thinking to traverse, with gondolas connecting precarious outposts. Here, the Arisen is not an esteemed sovereign, but an outsider, their pawn companions believed to be a source of grave misfortune. Batau's rulers are not of human lineage, but rather Beastren priestesses who worship the lambent flame. For the Beastren believe its sacred fires shield them from the calamity of the dragon. Meanwhile, outside the reaches of human and Beastren, hidden within the depths of the forest, an ancient sect of elves resides in seclusion, speaking in a tongue known only to them and avoiding contact with other races. On their journey, the Arisen will navigate through conflicts between species and the complexities of culture, faith, and history in each land. The choices the Arisen makes will shape not only their future and that of those with whom they interact, but the future of the world itself. The Arisen's odyssey is fraught with peril, for the world is home not only to human and Beastren, but to all manner of monsters, hungering to defeat the hero and their pawns. Each step of the way is marked with blood and sweat shed in the face of relentless adversaries. The harrowing shrieks of harpies reverberate through the mountains and canyons. Resourceful goblins lurk in the shadows, skillfully adapting to the terrain and waiting to ambush in groups. The footsteps of lumbering golems, animated by powerful charms, shake the earth and rattle the Arisen's bones. And when the sun sets,
Up we get. We can expect a busy night.
skeletons, ghosts, and undead rise from their slumber. A single undead, murmuring to itself adrift in memories of its living past, is a haunting sight. But a horde of undead, united in a mindless nocturnal frenzy, is a truly nightmarish test of mettle. And the mightiest foes are monsters most only see in myths. The Minotaur's trampling hooves, the Medusa with its petrifying gaze, and the Dullahan's ghastly severed head will strike fear in even the most stout-hearted. And with every exhilarating encounter, the hero must think creatively. It will take cleverness as well as courage to conquer the three heads of the Chimera, slay the soaring griffin, and overpower the bronze giant, Talos. Each victory emboldens the Arisen spirit and prepares them for the inevitable showdown with the indomitable dragon. The culmination of both their destinies. Welcome to...
Hello everybody, welcome to PlayStation Access. I am Ash, joined by Rob.
Hello.
There's his lovely dulcet tones.
Thank you.
And we're here today to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2.
We are.
Which I'm very excited about because I got some hands-on time with it.
I know, and famously, you played the original Dragon's Dogma so much that you had like a really vivid dream about living in the world of Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, it's 5 years long.
5 years of your life.
Not in real time. It was one evening.
In dream time.
Yeah.
Do you think Dragon's Dogma 2 also has the potential to be the game of your dreams?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I think just that perfect fantasy RPG goodness, that like high fantasy world of dragons and people who need to be heroes in tough moments, like it is distilled in Dragon's Dogma 2. And it's a really nostalgic game, like coming back to it after playing the first one and getting all those feelings back of like, it just feels so magical and nice. And walking through with my pawns and being the Arisen, which is the fantasy chosen one, is just, it's very wholesome. It reminds me so much of the first game in a really good way, but expands and, you know, furthers the reach of it. So I think the interesting point for this one is the first story was quite set, like it's about a cycle and breaking the cycle and figuring out what goes on there. So coming to this one, you are the Arisen, your heart has been taken by a dragon, which I saw in the gameplay, which was very cool. The dragon speaks with like like proper dragon voice.
Classic Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Deep, growly dragon voice.
In dragon speak as well, so you're like,
exciting.
what are you saying? But yeah, it sticks its claws in you, chomps on your heart, and you wake up again as the Arisen with pawns in your service, which are these AI-generated party members that just love you and want to tell you how great you are all the time. Honestly, it's such an ego boost.
Followed around by many adoring fans.
Yeah, honestly, they were proper like, it's my life purpose to be with you, Arisen. I'm so honoured. Every time I spoke to them, I was like, yeah, you're right, thanks. But this story is still kind of mysterious to me. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go or how it's going to unravel. And I think that's good. I don't think we need to talk about story too much here because that's half the joy of Dragon's Dogma is its complex kind of folding in on itself narrative and all these different angles it can spill off to. All I know is there there are two Arisen. There's an Arisen in the town up top, and there's an Arisen that's you, and you've got to figure out what's going on there and where you guys sit together.
Interesting.
So that's two chosen ones. How does that work?
No, I can't.
No.
There's only one of you, surely, that's the real chosen one.
Yeah,
the other one
exactly.
must be just a false Arisen or something.
The main thing that I took away from my gameplay with this one was that delicious ability to jump on big baddies, cling to them and stab them to death.
This was the thing that I remember most about the first Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
I just have vivid memories of climbing up this monstrous chimera-type monster.
Yeah.
Like, that had a snake for a tail, and, like, being inside the snake's mouth and, like, holding its mouth open whilst another one of my party hacked its neck off.
Yeah.
Can you still do things like that?
Absolutely. So I was fighting kind of enemies in the world rather than outright massive bosses. So I found a griffin and some ogres, and I absolutely slayed them. I was crawling on their back, I was stabbing them in the head, I was stabbing them in the belly and other such areas. Like
and other such areas.
I was just stabbing away. But yeah, it was great to be able to kind of jump on, and then it gives that sense of scale and that sense of reality that you really are in this world, and you can manipulate it and climb things and engage with them in a way that you would in real life. If I was fighting an ogre, I would jump on its head. Absolutely.
Yes.
Like, so to be able to do that is very good. And it just looks really cool as well. It just looks amazing. Being on the back of a griffin as it's flying around trying to get your party is just like,
oh, that does sound
wow.
exciting. I mean, it's such a departure from what you would expect from a combat system in an open world role-playing game.
Yeah.
Usually a little bit tactical, a little bit less real time and cinematic maybe, but Dragon's Dogma, certainly the first one, was constantly had me just with my mouth open, like, I can't believe the combat is this exciting in a fantasy RPG.
For sure. And I think that kind of carries over into this one because there are vocations again, and your vocations are being a fighter, a ranger, a mage or a thief to begin with, and these will spread out and become more specific things later down the line. So you'll like specialize, you can be like a mystic knight and that sort of thing, and wield magic as well as other weapons. But to begin with, I played as a fighter, a thief and a ranger. Mage was my pawn, so Max, my main pawn, was the mage for this one. So they were imbuing all of my weapons with elemental magic, which was very cool.
Right.
So fighter is very much your standard. You got a sword and a shield, and you know what to do with them. Hit with your sword, block with your shield. Just have a good time slashing things down and using your abilities. Ranger, using a bow, very good for flying enemies and knocking them to the ground so that your party can jump on them and kill them for you. You take a bit of a step back and kind of shoot from the background, play it a bit more tactically. And Thief was my favourite because it's basically dual wielding, and you also get a special ability which is a dodge step, which is really fast. So you can kind of run around an enemy and dodge around them and then get them with your dual wielding weapons. And then if you've got your mage pawn that's casting elemental magic on you with lightning, it's just very dramatic. It's very cool. So big fan of the Thief and interested to see where that spreads out into as well.
So do you have 4 people in your party?
Yeah, including you. So 3 party members with you, and they are your pawns. They tell you how great you are. They're lovely. You have one main pawn that's kind of like your pawn that you create, and then other 2 that join you.
Yeah.
In the original Dragon's Dogma, they were born from social connections, weren't they, online, so that other people's pawns from games would join you. I'm not sure how that's going to work in this one. But yeah, I had 3 in my party that were all very excited to see me. And a couple of them were Beastren, which is the new race being brought to Dragon's Dogma as well. I have nothing to say other than they're adorable. Like, they're very serious and, like people. They're just people. But just seeing a little lion-faced man that's helping me, like Max, my pawn, was like a Beastren mage in one of the builds I was playing, and just a little cat casting magic. I was like, this is what I wanted. Thank you so much.
So you should tell me about your boss fight, Ash, because I got an email yesterday, and I'm trying to find it now, from the Capcom PR, who said, and I quote, "I have never seen such boss-slaying skills before." So, what did you do? Tell me about this epic fight you had.
Oh, I didn't think I was just playing the game, you know. What
Maybe
can I
they
say?
were just being polite.
They might have been. I got a little compliment. Well, me and there was two people in the meeting, and they were like, "We've never seen such a skilled duo before." And I was like, okay. But yeah,
I dreamed about this game.
I was like, I already know how to play. But it was the Griffin. So I like, it wasn't like a big, like, you know, like the Hydra boss from the first game. There's a couple of Griffins throughout that you can fight. So that's why I was like, it wasn't a boss, but yeah, that was the one that I was on the back of, like stabbing in the head and climbing all over. So I think it was my climbing skills they were impressed with more than anything, which I was as well, honestly. It's so fun. Outside of me being really great at killing bosses, though, another point in the game that I think is really interesting and was a fun thing for me to explore was nighttime, where night comes in and it is literally pitch black. Like, you can't really see anything at all, which you're thinking, what? How's that a good thing? It's a good thing because you have to get out your lantern and it becomes super atmospheric. So night closes in, you're in the middle of the woods, you're in this beautiful like wilderness by day that's mountainous, green rolling hills, like lovely little ruins, and then night falls and you can't see in front of you and unique enemies start to come out as well. So
it turns into a little horror game at night.
Yeah, it does. It's proper like necromancer vibes because ghosts start coming after you. So like there's these big swooping ghosts that come out, and also skeletons wake up and just start coming at you, which is, I just love skeletons in games, in fantasy games. Reanimated skeleton is like peak enemy design, and this has a lovely reanimated skeletons. I was very excited to see one. I was probably like, oh, there's a skeleton to kill.
Do they make a little satisfying rattly noise when you kill them?
I don't know, I was too busy yelling, Rob. I was like, ah! But yeah, they pop up, and other such cursed beasties come out at night, which is just a really nice way of differentiating the cycles. So it's this constant like day to night vibe, and you have to figure out where you want to travel and if it's safe, and you know, getting your lantern out, not really being able to see much further than where the four of you have your light source. It's very intricate and interesting, and again, it's that proper immersive part of fantasy storytelling that Dragon's Dogma has always done so well, and Dragon's Dogma 2 is no different. So yeah, I had a great time playing it.
Sounds like the perfect Ash game.
It is. Like, I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3, so I'm very much in the mood for great fantasy titles. And this coming back from my childhood and offering a lovely little, you know, re-entry point into it, and that so many other people are excited because of this like cult following, and people are going to jump on it and find new things out about it. I'm just really excited to see where it goes and what I can do in it as I get further down the line, and what vocations I'm going to unlock as well, because that's very exciting. But yeah, there's a little rundown of what I saw in Dragon's Dogma 2.
Thank you.
I'm incredibly excited for it, and I know you will be too, Rob, as a Dragon's Dogma fan.
Yeah, I love the first one.
Yeah, it's definitely first one, but more. It's in the RE engine as well, I should say. So you know it's good. You know it's good.
That is exciting.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited for in Dragon's Dogma 2 and why it is reanimated skeletons.
Another episode of PlayStation Underground. Very excited today to talk about Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm your host, Brett, and I'm joined on my left by James, who's going to be playing the game for us. Hello. And we have a very special guest in the studio today, Hideaki Itsuno.
よろしくお願いします。
Hello. And we have Ken here to translate for us as well.
Hello.
Hello, both from Capcom, here to talk about Dogma 2. And yeah, what are we looking at already here?
さて、では早速ゲーム始まってますけど、今何が画面で起こってるんでしょうか。
今バトルに来たところなんで、こうやってね、用事のある NPC からどんどん話しかけて、何々やってほしいとかっていうのを言ってくれるようになってますね。はい。
So the player just arrived at the nation of Batal here, and as you can see in this game, if there are any NPCs that have anything with you, they'll come and they'll approach you and talk to you about it.
So I think in the original Dogma, there was more of that quest board kind of approach to quests, but here the world kind of reaches out to you as the player to pull you in.
Wait, what's your problem?
And we see walking around behind us, there's 3 pawns, and I think we're approaching an encounter here with somebody who's not happy we're traveling with pawns.
でここでまさに何かポーンが気に入らないキャラクターとの接見ですね。
そうですね。バタルはポーンを意味嫌ってるっていう国なんで、ポーンを連れて歩いてるとこうやって言いがかりをねつけられたりするんですね。
So overall, as a setting in the nation of Batal, pawns aren't well seen. They're not liked at all. So if you're because the main character is walking around with pawns, generally you'll get people that have an issue with that.
I see. This guy has a particular issue, and I think is trying to start something.
Take all you've got. It's only fair, ain't it?
怒りますね。
Yeah, I sense a fight around the corner.
And seems like 3 or 4 on 1, which doesn't seem very honorable.
Oh, man.
Quite the brawl we're having here. But I must say, these odds are rather craven. Did you leave your honor at the door?
And who are you supposed to be? You a friend of this one?
Nay, I'm a sellsword. Coin is my only ally. 'Tis not my conscience that called me here. No. I simply cannot stomach acts of cowardice. Is there even one among you with the grit for a proper duel, one-on-one?
That sounds a little more reasonable.
He's maybe inadvertently saving us.
1対1の方がよっぽどフェアですね。ちょっと助けられてますね、完全にこれは。
That's not quite the reaction I was hoping for. Mayhap you know not my face. How about my name then? Ragnar.
Ragnar? You're him? From the Scarlet Rains and the battle for Jeremiah? Well, 'tis clear you're a man best not crossed.
So he has quite the reputation.
このラグナルってのはもう名前が通ってる人物なんですね。
この辺りでは有名な傭兵ですね。
It's a mercenary well known in this area.
Reprobate gotten off to.
So they brought someone out to do the fighting for him in a one-on-one duel. But I have a feeling, so the vocation we're looking at here is the magic archer.
で、もう少しこれでようやく1対1になったんですけど、ここで今選択しているのがマジックアーチャーっていうジョブなんですね。
はい、そうです。マジックアーチャーはね、割と使いやすい強いジョブになりますね。
Overall, the magic archer vocation is quite a strong vocation, fairly easy to use, relatively
my God.
easy to use vocation.
Yeah, this guy thought he was in for a regular fight.
Yeah, he actually needs to. They got to bring his friends back in.
Yeah. How about 4-on-1 after all?
このデータのマジックアーチャーだいぶ強いから一方的にやっちゃってますけどね。
Also, might be worth noting that in this save data that you guys are trying, we have the magic archer at a level that is pretty high. So yeah, it's fairly unfair battle.
It's not fair. But hey, they started it, so.
いいんですよ。もうかけてきた
They're
向
getting
こう
their
だから。
just desserts.
容赦ないな。
No mercy shown, huh?
None. And everyone who's all these onlookers are just kind of like.
I'm trying to make a point.
I spilled my drink over here as the alley is exploding. All right, they've had enough. One thing we were going to try to show off here is the ability to purchase a home.
Yes, that's one of the characteristics of Dragon's Dogma 2. It won't come for free. There's a price, as you can see, but you are able to purchase your own room. And when you have a room, then you can just use it to rest and recover your stats.
Okay, reasonable real estate prices in the city.
非常に街中にしては良心的な価格ですね。
このデータは結構お金が多めに入ってるからです。
Nope, this is because this save data, we prepared it with a significant amount of resources for you to use.
Yeah, but like having your own place to stay versus like the benefits of that versus what staying in an inn, that's going to cost money over time. Staying out in the wild comes with its own risks.
でこのゲームでは、自分の部屋以外だと、宿屋に泊まったりあるいはキャンプ取ったりでそれぞれリスクとかがあるので、それを鑑みるとマイルームも確かにすごく高額とはいえいい選択肢かもしれませんね。
もう買えるんなら買った方がいいと思いますね。仲良くなった人も訪ねてくるかも。
Absolutely. If you have the resources to buy your own we would recommend for you to get it. And also another thing about having your own room is that if you have affinity with a specific character, they might come visit you.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that a little earlier, how there was that beloved system in the original Dragon's Dogma, but there's also a lot of, in Dogma 2, we saw a menu that after we talked to an NPC, it brought up all the relationships of different characters, and yeah, there just seems like there's a lot going on underneath the hood of these character relationships, even among NPCs.
そのキャラクター同士、自分と他の NPC はもちろん他の NPC 同士でも何か先ほどいろいろゲームで遊んでた時に高感度のいろんなメニューが出たので このドラゴンズドグマ2ではドラゴンズドグマ1よりさらにいろんな複雑な関係があるんだなっていうのがすごく伝わりました。
そうですね。またすごい展開になってますけど、
Yeah, well, we're
Having the worst luck today.
Yeah, I don't think the Griffin cares about all that.
ちょっと今の話にはグリフィンあんまり興味なさそうな感じですかね。
They were seeing kind of a homing fire. So yeah, the archer character here, you can see with L1 brings up different arrow types. There's flame, ice, lightning. There's even a healing arrow. But that flaming arrow you were shooting has a sort of a homing directional quality too, where you can, steer it in midair.
マジックアーチャーいろんな、カスタムスキルがあるんですけど、その中でもこの炎の矢は、相手のいるところまで追撃できるっていう自分で操作して当たらせるっていう特徴があってすごく使いやすいですね。
そうですね。しかも特にこのグリフィンにはすごくよく効く技なのでめちゃめちゃ効いてますね。
Yeah, and as you can see, the homing fire arrow is a particularly useful skill against effective skill against the Griffin. So yeah, you can see it's inflicting a lot of damage.
Yeah. And one of the pawns, Luke, is like grappled onto the side of its face, and it's just a good time to talk about. There's 3 pawns here supporting the magic archer, but obviously, when you build your own party, you want to complement different strengths and vocations. So, what are the 3 pawns we're playing with here, and how might they help this class?
で、ちょうどいいのでポンに関して改めて、このゲームでは自分のメインポンを作るのと、パーティーを構成するときにいろんなジョブをバランスよく、選ぶっていう、コツがあると思うんですが、例えば今マジックアーチャーに対して、今どんなポンがいてどんな風にバランスがすればバランスが取りやすいんでしょうか。
そうですね。マジックアーチャーの攻撃って基本的には魔法攻撃ばっかりになりますので、物理攻撃が効くキャラ、そして近距離で物理攻撃が効くキャラと組み合わせると、バランスが良くなりますね。
So for example, the magic archer, all the attacks of the magic archer are magic attacks. As you can see from long to medium distance, so it becomes a good balance when you use a magic archer with pawns that have vocation specialized in close counter attacks and physical attacks. That balances the party pretty well.
Nice.
これね、こうやってね、街中にグリフィン連れてきて戦うと、もちろん逃げ惑ったりすごいことになってるんですけども、これで重要人物とかが巻き込まれて死んじゃったりすると大変ですよ。
Also, one thing noteworthy, as you can see right now, there's mayhem because the Griffin you're engaging in battle with the Griffin inside the city.
In the city, yeah.
So not only that, but if one of the main characters, relevant NPCs gets involved in this battle and passes away or something, that has serious consequences in the game.
Right, like those relationships we were talking about.
先ほどの好感度の話だけではなくですか？
そうですそうです。重要人物が死ぬとクエストが進みにくくなったりとか結構大変なんで、街中での戦闘は早く片付けるかどっか遠くに大きい出さないと結構後で苦労すると思います。
Not only that, but not only the relationships, but also if some of the relevant NPCs for specific quests get involved in these battles and pass away or something, it will have significant impact on your progress. So yeah, the recommendation when you are engaging in battle and drag the monsters to the cities, get rid of them or drive them away from the cities as soon as possible.
I had quite the posse for this one.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's nice they showed up to help. That's pretty cool.
ここはいろんな NPC に助けてもらってますね。
そうですね。こういうところで戦うと、みんな助けてくれたり、武器持ってる人は逃げ回ったりとか、NPC がそれぞれ自分の役割で動きます。
That's the thing. Every NPC has their role, so NPCs with weapons help you engage in combat because they can all be affected. NPCs that don't have any weapons just run away. They act accordingly to their role in the game.
And so we took one step out of town, and that happened. So what else as players kind of, when the game comes out later this month in March, what can they expect when they really set out into the world? Like, what is the typical experience for Dragon's Dogma when you get started and set out into the map?
これ街から一歩旅出て今大変な展開になったんですけど、このゲームが発売されてこのゲームの世界で一歩旅出たらプレイヤーは他にどんな期待をすべきでしょうか？
まずはね、マップ 今行ったところしかマップは剥げないんですけども、マップのどんどんこうマスクを取っていって新しいものを発見していくと、次の展開がどんどん待ってるので、どんどんマップのマスクを取っていくように行動していくのがいいかなと思います。
Oh no.
The recommendation would be, well, the map only shows the areas where you've been to. So, yeah, we would recommend people to clear the map as much as possible because that will show you the next areas of interest, other places where you'll find interesting things to do. So, yeah, try to priority on making the map as visible as possible.
Man, these harpies are no joke.
Yeah.
このハッピー強いですね。
もう結構やばいっすよ。
Yep, you're.
Let's use one.
Let's use
I'm
one.
gonna need some extra help.
I couldn't even trust it. But he was saying, yeah, you're about to.
Yep.
Let's get back up there. Can we from here?
今ね、ポーン一人少ないんじゃないかな。
I think you might be missing a pawn. Yeah, you
Yeah,
might.
looks like it.
Yeah, fell behind. Whoa. But that kind of this exact kind of emergent situational thing was definitely a hallmark of the original Dragon's Dogma, where you're fighting a small enemy and then a larger one shows up and now total chaos breaks out. Your pawns,
Got him.
it's just a sense of chaos that's I don't know, it feels very dynamic and alive, which was very fun. And I mean, obviously back here for the second game.
このドラゴンズドグマ1でもやっぱりその雑魚敵と戦っている時に楽勝だと思いきやもっと強い敵が襲ってきてカオス状態になるっていうの状況が非常に特徴的だったと思いますが、今ご覧になっているようにドラゴンズドグマ2でもそういう展開がたくさんあって非常にやってて楽しいですね。これは。いや
もう特に2は敵がどこまでも追ってくるのでこういうシチュエーションは多いですよ。かなり気をつけないと。
And a big difference in Dragon's Dogma 2 is that the enemies will keep chasing you all over the place. So this kind of situations are even more common. So yeah, proceed with care.
Yeah. And obviously we're not on any particular quest right now. We're kind of roaming the countryside, showing off some combat. The Griffin fight was kind of a dynamic thing that happened. But in general, you would have a primary quest and a number of side quests, and then obviously just the sense of exploration as you go across the world map and see what happens.
で当然今ちょっと周りを歩いて出てきて遭遇している敵と戦ってるだけで、グリフィンも予期しないイベントだったんですけど、通常だったらメインクエストなりサイドクエストなりを進めながら、こういった戦闘を楽しみながら進んでいくっていう流れなんでしょうか。
そうですね。クエストにメインもサイドもそんなに区別はしてないんですけども、気になったクエストから順番にやっていけば話は自然に進むようになっていますので、気になったクエストからやっていただければいいかなと思っています。
One thing noteworthy is that there's no clear distinction in this game between main quests and side quests. So it's made in a way that we encourage the player to go and do the quests that they feel like doing, and that will allow natural progression through the game. So just go there and do whatever you feel like you should be doing.
Nice. Okay, we're jumping over real quick to the rift area where the pawns are actually recruited, which is again that unique element to the original Dogma back here for Dragon's Dogma 2. But by entering, you can search for pawns and hire them. But that's help us find the new pawn.
Yeah, we need some
これ
new friends.
新しいポーンを探しましょう。
そうですね。はい。
ここメニューから出て
これメニューから出てもらうと、
If you can just press cancel and just walk around, you'll find a lot of
Oh, here they are.
20人ぐらい出てくるんで。
I like to look at this guy. He's got a nice beard, nice hair.
Looks like he can take some hits.
So yeah, when if you're playing online, you'll be seeing pawns of actually other people.
Right, because as a player, you'll make your own pawn, and they will appear in this rift for other players to recruit.
It's very cool. He's hired.
ここがネットつながってると他の人のポーンを実際にここで借りることができます。
はい。
で、自分のポーンも同じように。
LR で上の情報を変えれるんで、レベルとジョブだけじゃなくて、どんなカスタムスキル持ってるかとかね。
And also, for example, right now when you're walking around, you're seeing only general information, their level. When you're walking around, if you press L or R, you'll see other information. Try that.
I see.
Okay.
Also, there their specialties, their username.
Cool.
Different standards for how you want to hire your pawn.
So yeah, the parting visuals here, the sights and sounds and suggested smells. A lot of S's. Great alliteration. Back. Thanks, me. We're going to hit cook and yeah, take a look at...
Let's have some beefsteak.
Yeah. Ooh. Man. Man, is this an 8K? I didn't know we could do this.
Not like a feast to get you ready for bed.
Nice.
Agreed.
So yeah, you'll use the camp, rest up, and continue that journey. But excited to get more time in with the game. Dragon's Dogma out March 22nd. And can't wait to play more. Thanks, James, for steering us through here. And thank you both for joining us.
一度休憩してから旅を続けますが、発売は3月22日に皆さんぜひお楽しみにと。
よろしくお願いします。
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.